The creature had been erased from history. Not hunted. Not defeated. Forgotten. Across the galaxy, civilizations rose and fell. Empires clashed. Stars burned and died. But one thing remained consistent. Silence. A deliberate silence. No records. No fossils. No mention in any archive. As if the universe itself had agreed to never speak of it again. And for thousands of years, that silence held, until a child picked up a crayon. The station was called Horizon Ring, a massive orbital habitat where dozens of species coexisted in uneasy peace. It had schools, markets, gardens, and one small classroom, filled with noise. "Okay, everyone," the human teacher said, clapping her hands. "Today we're drawing something from your imagination." The children cheered. Different species, different minds, different ways of seeing the world. A four-armed Kalari child began sketching geometric patterns. A soft-bodied veil painted shifting colors that changed as it moved. A scaled Dravik etched precise, symmetrical shapes. And in the back corner sat a human girl. Her name was Mira, age 7. Quiet, observant. She didn't rush, didn't look around. She just started drawing. At first it looked simple. A shape, then lines, then something else, something wrong. Her crayon moved slowly, deliberately, as if she wasn't imagining it, as if she was remembering. "Time's up," the teacher called. "Let's see what you've made." The children proudly held up their drawings. Bright colors, abstract forms, creative chaos. Then Mira stood. She walked to the front and held up her paper. The room went quiet, not because it was impressive, but because it was accurate. Too accurate. The creature on the page was unlike anything in the room. It had no symmetry, no clear structure. Its body seemed to bend in ways that shouldn't exist. Its eyes too many. Its shape, unstable. Even in crayon, it looked alive. The teacher smiled nervously. "That's very creative, Mira," she said. "What is it?" Mira tilted her head. "I don't know," she said. A pause. "I just saw it." Something shifted in the room. The veil child dimmed. The Dravik scales tightened. Instinct. Fear. The teacher forced a laugh. "Well, imagination is a powerful thing." But she didn't hang the drawing on the wall. She set it aside, face down. That night, the station's systems glitched. Nothing major. Just small things. Lights flickering. Sensors misreading empty space. Audio picking up. Nothing. Maintenance ran diagnostics. Found nothing. Routine. Until the next day, Mira drew it again. This time, clearer. More detail. More presence. The teacher didn't smile. She sent the drawing to the station archives. Just for classification. A routine process. The AI scanned it. Paused. Then flagged it. Priority. Unknown. That had never happened before. The drawing was forwarded to deeper systems. Older systems. Ones that hadn't been accessed in centuries. Buried protocols activated. Files began unlocking. Sealed records. Redacted histories. And one word appeared across the system logs. Recognition. Deep beneath the station, something woke up. Not physically, but digitally. Ancient safeguards. Long-forgotten warnings. The system didn't alert the public. Didn't cause panic. It did something far worse. It started watching. Specifically, Mira. The third day, she drew it again. Now it wasn't just a creature. It was a scene. Darkness. Stars. And that thing, moving between them. The teacher didn't send this one. She tried to throw it away. But the paper didn't tear. Her hands trembled. That wasn't possible. She dropped it. That's when Mira spoke. "It doesn't like being forgotten." The teacher froze. "What did you say?" Mira looked at her. Calm. "It said no one remembers it anymore," she continued. "It's lonely." The room felt colder. "How do you know that?" Mira shrugged. "It shows me." The station alarms went off. Not loudly. Quietly. Deep system alerts. Emergency lockdown protocols began activating across restricted sectors. Because the archives had found something, a file older than the station itself. A warning from a civilization long extinct. It described a predator, not of flesh, not of energy, but of memory, a being that existed only as long as it was remembered. So the galaxy did the only thing it could. It forgot. Every species, every archive, every record. They erased it, and in doing so, they contained it. Until now, Myra's drawings spread, not physically, but through systems. Each scan, each copy, each transmission, remembered it, and with every memory, it grew stronger. Sensors began detecting distortions, not ships, not signals, absences, gaps in space where something should be. And in those gaps, movement. The council was contacted. Emergency response teams deployed. But they were too late, because it wasn't coming to the station. It was already there, inside every system that had seen the drawing, inside every mind that had imagined it. And at the center of it all, a small human child, sitting quietly, drawing. The teacher found her alone that evening. "Mira," she whispered, "you need to stop." Mira looked up. "Why?" "Because it's dangerous." Mira frowned. "It's not dangerous," she said softly. "It's just hungry." The teacher stepped back. "For what?" Mira smiled faintly. "For attention." That's when the lights went out. Total darkness. And in that darkness, something moved. Not seen, but felt. Presence. Ancient. Patient. Watching. Waiting. Remembering. Then, a small voice. "Hi, Mira." Silence. Then, something answered. Not in words, but in feeling. And for the first time in millions of years, the forgotten predator was no longer alone.